Islam Makhachev is running away from Ilia Topuria, and I'm going to explain exactly why in this video, looking at some of his fight history, comparing it to actual active champions. Let's jump right into it. So he's obviously fought, the last time he fought was January 18th, UFC 311 against Renato Moicano. He absorbed 9 strikes in 4 minutes of fight time. Now, we haven't seen him since, and we're probably expected to see him return later in the year around November time, MSG, potentially the December pay-per-view card, but most likely MSG, Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight title. Now that's a fucking embarrassment. He's going to have a 10, 11 month layoff um, after a 4 minute fight. It's ridiculous. Let's look since he's captured the title. He fought twice in 2023, once in 2024, and he's only fought once in 2025. Now, you can look at the competition as of late as well. Poirier, an older Poirier. Ilia minces Poirier in 1 round. Like, we're not gonna get too into that, but you're fighting these guys that aren't even the top contenders in your division. Like your last fight was against Renato Moicano, who's currently sitting, I believe, 10 or 11th ranked in the division. Just lost to Beneil Dariush. Renato Moicano's dog shit. Throw him out the fucking rankings. But this guy, I'm going to explain why I believe he's running away from Ilia Topuria right now, because Islam Makhachev could have fought Ilia Topuria at International Fight Week rather than Charles Oliveira. He could have fought him. Now, I don't know if the UFC is normal enough to have come to Islam Makhachev and have said this, but if I was a matchmaker, this is exactly what I would have said. I would have said, "Hey Islam, we know you want to go to welterweight. Ilia wants to go to lightweight. He's already relinquished his belt. We've got Volkanovski and Lopez fighting for it. He's ready. He wants to move up. He's ready at International Fight Week. That's going to be 6 months from your most recent fight. You're healthy. You're in shape. You took no damage. You don't have any surgeries. You don't have any sicknesses, anything like that. In the meantime, while you're in training camp, we're gonna see how the fight plays out between Bilal and JDM, and then based on that, on who wins, then you can go to welterweight after the Ilia fight, rather than sitting and waiting for 11 months. That's what I would have done. Now, I hope that the UFC was normal enough to come to Islam and say that, which I honestly, at this point, I don't think they were, but that fight should have happened. It didn't have to be Ilia and Charles. Why couldn't Islam say, all right, I want to go to welterweight, but that's going to be 10, 11 months from my most recent fight. I only took 9 strikes, and the fight before that was 7 months apart. I've fought twice in a year and a half. That's not that active. Let me get one in against Ilya in International Fight Week, and then I'm going to have 6, 7 months to bulk up to welterweight. It's ridiculous, and the Islam Makhachev sexuals and the fucking Russians are going to be like, he needs time to bulk up and move up correctly to 170 pounds. We just saw Ilya take fucking half the amount of time to move up to 155 and just won by a first round knockout against a former champion. Islam Makhachev would never. Look at his last two opponents. Is fucking Renato Moicano outside the top 10. Poirier is about to retire. And then Volkanovski, the first fight, you're losing to a 45, you're getting your head ground and pounded into the mat in the 5th round, you get saved by the bell. And then, it takes a fucking short notice Volk for you to get the win finally. Like this guy, bro, like he needs to stay at 155. Like I get Armin, he had the back issue, he was probably gonna miss weight. That is what it is, that's not Islam's fault. But the Ilya fight, it was there. The UFC are consistently selling year after year after year. They're not making these great matchups that can be made, and they're banking on, let's make it later on. We'll have him fight him, and we'll see how it plays out. I see Dana White say that all the time. We'll see how this plays out, and then we'll look at it. No, fucking make the fight now, because injuries happen, shit happens down the line. I wouldn't be surprised if Islam Makhachev retired after the JDM fight, if he won, that is. I would not be surprised, because the stylistic matchups at welterweight and at lightweight with Arman and Ilya that cause difficulties for Islam, and he's running away from it. Like look at the last 3 fights for Islam. Like they're good matchups for him. Volkanovski, obviously he didn't perform so well in the first fight, but he's a short 45er. Nowhere near the size of Islam. And then you got Poirier and Hanato Moicano is your last fight, bro. Like the UFC should be forcing him to fight. You don't need 11 months to go up to 170. You are huge. All this shit in the media, oh, Islam's struggling to put on size. That's fucking rubbish. He kills himself to make 155. Look at him on the scale, bro. It's fucking bullshit. And the UFC should be ashamed of themselves for not making this fucking fight happen because they could have made Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria at International Fight Week. And then you could have done Armin and Charles rematch. You could have done fucking Charles and Paddy in the like after Paddy's win. It's fucking the division, the matchmaking, the UFC. They're all over the place. They need someone to replace fucking the matchmakers. Dana White, Hunter Campbell was too busy promoting boxing and fucking doing all this other shit. It's fucking stupid. You're going to fight twice in 2025. You fought once in 2024, and then you're going to fight twice in 2023. You fought twice in 2023. So since you've captured the belt, you haven't had a year where you've fought more than fucking twice. That's embarrassing. Now, let's take a look at the actual respective champions of the past. Obviously, Adesanya's not retired, but when he was a champion, like let's take a look at 2022 for Israel. Robert Whittaker in February, former champion, beats him. Jared Cannonier, top contender in July, beats him. Alex Pereira in November. 3 fights in 9 months. Islam Makhachev will never fucking do that in his life. You would have to pay Islam Makhachev like 30 million a fight for him to do that. Even Khabib, they don't have the activity in them. They fucking trigger me. Like even here, let's look at Volkanovski. Look at Volk, 2023. Islam, Yair, Islam. 8 months. 8 months, 3 fights. It's embarrassing when you compare it to fucking Islam. It's actually embarrassing. You absorbed 9 strikes. So this is why I believe he's running. You were fresh as a daisy, ready to go for International Fight Week. Islam Makhachev chose, him and his team sat down and chose, let's not risk that Ilia fight. So then, let's just go to welterweight, get that belt, and then retire, or then we'll stick around at welterweight for a little bit. Let's avoid that Ilia fight. He could have had the Ilia fight. No one can disagree. You could have had the Ilia fight. And after the fight, you would still have 7 months to recover for a JDM. It's not like it's not like you're Adesanya moving from middleweight to light heavyweight. You really need to put on some size, and you're struggling. He what was Adesanya when he fought Blachowicz? Fucking 201 on the scales or something. We will not see Islam Makhachev at fucking 165. Dribbling on how he's fucking struggling to make weight. Make the fucking 170-pound weight limit. But he's full of shit. Islam Makhachev's got a fucking turd in his jocks. He's sitting on his couch right now, waiting till November. He's literally doing nothing right now. It's fucking retarded. UFC should be ashamed of themselves for not making this fight. Let me know what you think in the comments. How you think, Islam's, if he's running, if he's not. It's clear to me that he is. 9 strikes in fucking a year, and you're still, only gonna fight once. But fucking, it is what it is. He's fucking got a turd in his pants and he's running. But hopefully, the day will come where we see Ilia flatline KO Makhachev.